This video is how to stake Ethereum. I'm going to go through a few different methods from the easiest all the way up to actually taking custody of ETH yourself and staking it directly on the blockchain. As we can see here, more and more people are choosing to stake Ethereum, but something really important to know before we go through with any of these methods is to understand what yield we're supposed to be getting for our ETH. As you can see right now from stakingrewards.com, it's paying around 4.5%. So that's the base yield that we should expect more or less when we're actually using any of these methods. I'll leave timestamps and some other helpful resources down in the description. The first method though for beginners would be exchange staking. This is where you use an exchange. I'm going to use Binance for this example because I use Binance. And what we do is we give our Ethereum or some value that we want to stake to the exchange, and they do everything for us. So whatever we do with staking Ethereum, we're going to have to give it over to another party who does all of the staking and running the validators for us. Now, you can, of course, run your own validator yourself at home if you have the technical know-how. You have to run the validator. You need at least 32 ETH to actually stake as well. So if you don't want to do that, then you have to use an operator, which we're going to go through in this video. With exchange staking, what you do is you give your Ethereum to the exchange. They stake it for you. They run the validators, they do everything to actually keep the network up and running, and they earn the yield from the Ethereum network. They obviously pass that back to you whilst taking a small percentage fee for their costs and a little bit of profit for them as well. But we can see what the yield is quite easily. Now, what you do is you give your tokens over to the exchange, they do everything, and they pass that back to you. Now, remember, when you stake Ethereum, what you're doing is putting that ETH onto the Ethereum blockchain and locking it up there. And so how do we represent how much value that we have locked up? Well, we represent that in our account via something called a staking derivative. It's essentially like a receipt, right? So if you put 1 ETH into the blockchain, Binance obviously say, well, you have a receipt for that 1 ETH investment. And so they give you this other token. So this is called BETH in Binance, which I'll show you here. So just imagine we have 1 ETH. We say to Binance, please put that on the blockchain for us. They say no problem. And we represent your receipt of that transaction through another token called BETH or Binance ETH. This thing you hold in your account and that accrues the staking rewards for you. So as you can see with Binance ETH, we regularly distribute on-chain rewards to all participants, and it will be distributed in the form of BETH to users' spot accounts. So all of that Ethereum that you're getting and all the yield that you're getting, it just goes into your account in the form of BETH. Now, BETH is that receipt that you've got that value, and you can change it back for ETH anytime that you want. As of making this video, there is still a lockup on the Ethereum chain, but that doesn't matter because this BETH is actually completely liquid. You can go and trade it in the market, no problems. So let's go through actually staking this. Obviously, you need a Binance account. I'll leave a link in the description. They give a sign up or deposit and trading bonuses, so you can find out info around that from that link in the description. But all you have to do is if you have some Ethereum is go to stake now. And as you can see, you can put any amount of ETH in here. So you can click max or whatever, and they give you BETH 1 for 1. Remember, what we're doing is we're giving our ETH over to Binance. They're putting it on the blockchain, and they distribute that BETH, which is a receipt of our value right there. And if we have BETH in our account, then that's going to be accruing those rewards. It's literally as simple as that. You obviously need some ETH in your account first, and you can do that right here. This is just in earn and then ETH 2.0. Actually, though, what I would recommend if you want to do this is actually to buy BETH in the open market. And I'll explain that right now as to why. If you go and trade BETH, you can see right here, I'm in the BETH market, right? And we are selling Ethereum into BETH. You can see the exchange rate right now is 0.97. That means you're actually getting a better deal because one Ethereum is actually more BETH, right? So there's 0.9744 BETH for every 1 ETH. So you're actually, making what, 2.5, almost 3% as a difference there. Now, if you're, investing large amounts, that makes a lot of difference compared to this, which is 1 for 1. What I would go and do is just buy the BETH directly in the open market and then accrue those staking rewards. As you can see from the top right hand corner, you can actually trade BETH for ETH or BETH for BUSD. So if you just have BUSD and you want to invest in Ethereum and get the staking rewards, just go to the BUSD market and buy it right here. And this should be a little bit of a discount compared to Ethereum itself. So it accrues the staking rewards in your spot account. That's the easiest method right here. You can just do it with dollars if you have dollars, or ETH if you have ETH. But of course, you leave it in your Binance account, which is obviously trusting Binance, and it's not decentralized, of course. So pros and cons for everything, but that's the easiest for, you know, beginners to actually get in and earning some yield through staking ETH. Now let's get to staking ETH on the blockchain, which is where you take the assets over to your own wallet. This is obviously safer because you don't have to trust a centralized intermediary, but there is still someone in the middle, because remember, what we have to do is give our assets to someone that is running validators. Now, the most popular way to do this is through Lido, who are a staking provider, but they do this through smart contracts, and they run the validators themselves. So they're not an exchange, and you actually keep your assets in your own wallet. So there's a few things to go through here. The first one is we still need to go through this process of giving Lido Ethereum, and they do the investment and they run the validators, and then they give us back a token that represents our stake. Now for Lido, they call this staked ETH or stETH. It's the same sort of thing as Binance ETH or BETH that we just saw, but we now have to use wallets because we're using the blockchain right here. In terms of wallets, just find one that supports Ethereum. Coinbase Wallet, Trust Wallet supports Ethereum and Ethereum assets as well, and MetaMask is very popular. These are software wallets. These are free to download, but they are less secure than hardware wallets. Hardware wallets like Ledger and Trezor, they are going to cost a little bit of money, but they are way more secure. And if you're investing, I definitely suggest those. I'll leave links to them below. Also tutorials on how to set them up as well if you want to see that. But we need a wallet that's going to accept Ethereum assets. These do right here. Now what we can do is actually go ahead and try and stake through a network like Lido, who does this for us. So what we're going to have to do is firstly get Ethereum into our wallet. So whichever wallet that you have, I'm going to show you MetaMask right here very quickly. So what we can do is go over to our Binance or other exchange and then simply withdraw the ETH that we have from our exchange. So we're going to copy our wallet address right here, go over here, put the address right in and click withdraw. Now this must be on the Ethereum mainnet. If it's on any other network, it won't work, right? So it needs to be Ethereum mainnet that you actually have the ETH on. Downside here is that the Ethereum mainnet is pretty expensive, unfortunately, but this is what it is. So we have to withdraw that to our wallet, whatever that may be. Now I've got tutorials on wallets and how to set up wallets as well, including how to link a cold wallet with a hot wallet like MetaMask. So you can link up a ledger with MetaMask. It's very convenient once you have it linked up. But once you have a wallet and actually some assets in that wallet, what we can do here is go and stake Ethereum. So we'll do this. Have to be on the mainnet right here. Now you can see some ETH in your wallet, and what you have to do is just click submit right here, click how much Ethereum that you want to stake, click submit. You'll have to pay a fee on the blockchain. Your MetaMask or other wallet will come up here for you to pay those fees, and you'll swap in your ETH for staked ETH. Now remember, please keep some Ethereum in your wallet to pay for gas fees if you want to transfer those assets out or do anything like that. Once you have staked ETH, this is accruing interest for you right in your wallet. So you don't have to do anything else, just keep it in there and you accrue the staking rewards. Staked ETH can't be used to pay for gas fees and anything like that. And so it really is your investment. So I suggest keeping some ETH in your wallet as well to pay for other gas fees. If you have a Ledger device, you actually don't need to use MetaMask or the Lido website. You can actually use Ledger Live to stake directly. So what you can do if you do have a Ledger hardware wallet and you've got it set up, links in the description to the videos that go through all of this if you need help on that. We can actually scroll down in the Discover tab and we should be able to see Lido right here. If you click on this, it takes you through to that exact same page. So this is like using the Lido app directly in Ledger Live, and you don't have to go to the website. But if you have ETH in your hardware wallet, you can go and stake it right here. Now, again, you have to use a blockchain, so it's going to cost ETH mainnet fees, but you can do it right in your Ledger. So now what you actually get is that staked ETH token right in your Ledger that's accruing staking rewards for you, and you don't have to do anything else. It's just sitting there earning that staking rewards from Ethereum. Just the same as BETH, you can actually buy staked ETH from Lido in the open market. You don't need to actually stake it directly through Lido on a one-for-one basis, because the staked ETH, just like BETH, is an open market token that can be traded across exchanges. Now for staked ETH, it's mostly traded on decentralized exchanges. So if you have Ethereum in your ETH wallet, you know, like MetaMask or Ledger, you can link it up and trade it here. What you would do is go to swap. So we need to swap Ethereum. Or if you have US dollar Tether or any other asset that you want to swap into staked ETH, you can do that here. So I'll show you with ETH, then we'll search for stETH like this, and you can see it's this token right here. Click on this, and as you can see, you can swap any amount of ETH directly into staked ETH. Now that staked ETH, as long as it's in your Ethereum mainnet wallet, will start accruing those rewards. But you can actually trade anything else. If you want to trade US dollar Tether to buy staked ETH, you can do that. Now, like I said, staked ETH can't be used to pay for gas fees, but as long as you swap into staked ETH and you have that in your Ethereum mainnet wallet, it's going to be accruing rewards. Always check the decentralized exchange, because it's often cheaper to buy it in the open market rather than going directly through Lido on a one-for-one basis. Many people are going to find that Ethereum mainnet fees are just way too expensive, and they're going to reduce all of the yield down to zero. And so let's go through a third method right here, which, as you can see, is way more complex, but it is something that some people are using. So I'll explain how it works right here. So firstly, what we want to do is take that staked ETH token, because that's the token that's actually the investment right here in the staking yield. And what Lido have done is they've moved this token over to Ethereum layer 2 networks. Layer 2 networks are way cheaper than Ethereum. As you can see, there's Arbitrum and Optimism right here. So that staked ETH token has been moved over to L2. Now what we can do is take this should be ETH right here, take this token, this staked ETH token, and we can put it in our wallets. So if we have a MetaMask or a Ledger, we can do that. And then what we can do is use that staked ETH on layer 2 to go and invest it. And I'll show you how that works. So what we can do firstly is make sure that we get the layer 2 networks added to our wallets. I'll show you how to do that. What you need is you need to add the layer 2 to a MetaMask. This is only going to work in MetaMask and not Ledger for right now. So what we want to do in our MetaMask is add some networks from Arbitrum and Optimism, which are those layer 2s. So we're going to go to settings. Then we're going to go to add networks right here. And as you can see, I've added them already. So I've got Optimism here, and I've also got Arbitrum right here. You need these details to put in. You can pause the video there, or just go on Google and type how to add the network into MetaMask, and it's going to give you these details right here. So this is Arbitrum's, Optimism has one as well. So you can just copy and paste these details in to your MetaMask, click add network and save, and that will add the network for you. Now what you can do is switch up here to any of the networks that you want to use. Now, this will give you, as long as you're using the same MetaMask account, this will give you the exact same address. So it's going to be the same address, but what you want to do is you want to get Ethereum onto this network and not your Ethereum mainnet. So we're going to go to Arbitrum. So I'll find Arbitrum right here, switch to that. And as you can see, I don't think I've got anything in this Arbitrum wallet. What we can do is copy that address, then go back to our Binance or whichever other account that you use, click the address in here. Then when it says network, don't use Ethereum mainnet, but use Arbitrum or Optimism, one of those two. As you can see, the fees are way cheaper, right? So it's actually free withdrawals right now, which is awesome. So that means when you do that withdrawal, that you will now have Ethereum in your Optimism or Arbitrum account. So you've got this Ethereum value in these layer 2 networks. Now what we have to do is go and invest that. As of making this video, Lido have put that staked ETH onto these layer 2 networks. But for right now, funnily enough, it doesn't actually pay staking rewards because it's just a first step. So what they've actually done is essentially incentivized some liquidity pools over on these layer 2 networks. So like I said, yes, it's way more complex, and so some people are not going to want to do this, but it is cheaper in terms of transaction fees. Now I'm going to use a yield aggregator like Beefy just to show you right here. So we're going to click on Optimism and Arbitrum to see those Ethereum layer 2 networks. Now right down here, as you can see, we need to choose a pool that has wrapped staked ETH. That is staked ETH that's been wrapped and put on the layer 2 network. As you can see, there's two liquidity pools here, one for Optimism and one for Arbitrum, which the liquidity pool is with ETH. It's absolutely vital that you invest in a liquidity pool that has wrapped staked ETH and ETH. If you have another pool, for example, up here, you can see wrap stETH with Lido and wrap stETH with USD Plus. You can see the APYs are much higher here. That's because it's way riskier. You don't want to invest in a liquidity pool that has two assets that are different, because it will attract something called impermanent loss, which is going to lose you money. Even though this APY is higher, you're going to lose money here from impermanent loss, because those two assets are so different from each other. When you have wrap stETH versus ETH, these are very, very close to each other, should be 1 for 1 essentially. And so that impermanent loss is basically almost zero. It may be very small, but you can see the yield that we're getting here is actually almost double what Ethereum is on the base layer staking. That is because these liquidity pools are being incentivized right now by Lido to get people to put their money over to these pools away from the layer one. So we can just click on one of these to show you. So I'll click on the Arbitrum liquidity pool. What you can do here is invest this, add liquidity here from your ETH, and then put that in. Now I've got a separate video on using BETH because it's a little bit complex as well in terms of adding liquidity into pools, the pros and cons of doing this and the extra risks. So I'll leave that linked in the description. But as you can see here, what you need to do is go over to the Curve Finance app where this liquidity pool exists. You need to invest in that in a ratio. And then once you have the liquidity provider tokens in there, you can invest them in BETH. And as you can see, the APY is 10.71% right now. Now, that's a great yield, but there's so much complexity here. You have to rely that BETH smart contracts are all good. You have to rely on these networks, which are inherently a little bit less secure than Ethereum mainnet, even though these are really secure because they're a layer 2. But as you can see, there's a lot of moving parts here. And these liquidity pools, they can also run out of incentives, right? If Lido stop incentivizing the pool, then you have to switch your assets around, right? So there's a lot of moving parts here, and probably more for more experienced traders that want to manage these things. The yield is very good right now, as you can see, and the transaction fees are much, much lower on the layer 2 networks as well. So that is an option that some people use. I'll leave links to those other videos in the description and the Binance deposit bonuses down there as well. I'm James with MoneyZG. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.